So here we go. We have our breadboard, an Arduino, some resistors, all of our jumper cables, and our 7 LEDs. I'm going to start with the LEDs. As you can see, I have the long side on the right. So I'm going to check out my breadboard, and I'm going to make sure I space out my LEDs appropriately so that it looks kind of like the top of a die. So I'm going to move it over 1 from the edge, and then I'm going to put a space of 3 in between. So I have the 2 top ones, and then I'm going to move over 3. 1, 2, 3. And the long side is going to be on the right for every single LED. Now for the 7th LED, I'm going to put it in the middle. So it's going to be in between the 2, but remember I need to have the long side on the right still. But I'm going to put it in the middle of all the other LEDs. Next, I'm going to add my resistors. These are my 220 resistors that I've been using for all my LED projects. So I'm going to straighten out the little pins, and I'm going to go from the furthest slot on the outside of the breadboard to the short side of the LED. And I'm going to add one for every single LED that I have, remembering that it's the same row that the short end of the LED matches with my resistor, and every single one goes to the outside of the breadboard. Now I have all 7 resistors, and my button is up next. So I'm going to place the button near the middle of my breadboard completely, but in between both sides. So I'm going to find a good spot for it. Make sure I press it down, and make sure the pins go inside the breadboard so it sits nice and snug. Next up, I need a 10K resistor for my button. This is different from the 220s in the color bands. So make sure you have a 10K. So I'm going to match my resistor with one of the pins and make it go to the blue line. So not the outermost part of the breadboard, but one in. Then I'm going to add all of the jumper wires for my project. I think I put the resistor on the wrong pin, so I'm going to move it up to the other side and add my jumper to the other one on the right and put it to the outside. So the resistor goes one in and the jumper goes to the outside. Now I'm going to add my next jumper from the same, right next to the resistor, to the 3.3. So if you look on your Arduino, there's a 3.3V, and that will be placed there. The next jumper wire will go to the ground. So I'm going to go from the outermost side, anywhere along that red line, and look for the GND port on my Arduino, the same side as the 3.3. From there, I need to add a jumper cable for every single one of my LEDs. So all of them are from the long side of the LED to ports 3 through 9 on the Arduino. The jumper for number 2 will go to the button. So if you see here, I'm going to do the button jumper cable. I picked a longer jumper cable so that I can go further. I picked shorter ones for the closer LEDs. And it goes in between the resistor and the button on that same row. I also need to add a ground jumper on this other side to go to the blue outermost part, which will be my last jumper. From there, I am ready to plug in and begin coding my Arduino for the die project.